Welcome back to the Back 40 Firewood channel. My name is Dan, and if you're here for the first time, or if you are a new subscriber to the channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you found the channel. Sometimes I usually forget to, in my videos, introduce myself. So yes, my name is Dan. Sometimes they call me Shifty. You'll hear that, or you'll see that in the comments sometimes. That's my nickname. And I just wanted to while we're on the topic of names, last Friday night on the Back 40 live stream, which happens each and every Friday night at 8 p.m. Central, I revealed the mascot, the Woodhound mascot for the Back 40 Firewood channel. And the one thing that I'm asking all of you to help contribute with is to come up with ideas for a name. What I'm hoping is that people will send in ideas for a name of the mascot, the Woodhound. You can either leave those in the comments on this video, or you can go to back40firewood.com, and on the homepage, if you scroll down, there's a picture of the mascot and a little form you can fill out. Speaking of, I'll show you right now, right here. This is the Woodhound. So yeah, take a look at him, see if you can come up with any creative names. What we'll do is, we'll put the names, I'll go through the names, and I'll pick out like maybe 5 or 10, the top 5, top 10. And then we'll have a little poll and we'll vote on a name coming up here soon. So right now we just need to get this guy a name, and then my whole vision of kind of having a little mascot for the channel will be complete. We've kind of been throwing around that term Woodhound, and so now I want to put a visual with the name and the term or the character Woodhound. So that's my goal with the whole mascot. So hopefully you guys can contribute. And like I said, if you have any ideas for the name, leave them in the comments down below, or just go to the website and send it in there. So for today's video, what I wanted to talk about was it's been 1 year. It's been 1 year since the Kioti CK2610 showed up and was delivered to me. And so I wanted to just talk about my overall experience, my thoughts, if I would buy this tractor again, and just kind of give some feedback. And I know there's been some people kind of asking, how I like the Kioti. I always get asked questions about, what features I like best about it. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that, and just, go over, like I said, share my experience after owning this tractor for 1 year, what I think of it, and some of the issues I've run into, and then again, whether or not I would if I could go back, if I would make the same purchase. So first of all, let me just say that after 1 year of having Anubis silo and equipment down in Arkansas, Wisconsin, after Ken came up here and delivered this tractor, I will say I never would have thought that it would be such a game changer for just doing things around my property, but mostly with the firewood. It's allowed me to, expand my capabilities. It's given me the ability to, move wood easier, to handle logs easier. It's just been huge. It's been a huge, like I said, game changer. You'll always hear people, you'll hear the expression like, I don't know how I lived without this before. And, prior to buying this tractor, I had always gotten comments and received suggestions like, you need a tractor, you need to get something better than what you're doing. Because before I just had a little lawnmower that I was moving wood around with. And let me tell you, this is a huge step up. The reason that I chose the Kioti CK2610 was because when it came down to it, this tractor was had one of the top lift capacities of all 25 horsepower subcompact tractors. So that was the main thing, because I knew I would be moving around, firewood and logs and things that were heavy, and I wanted to have that lift capacity. I wasn't so much concerned with the horsepower and going to the 3510 or the 4010, because when I talked with Ken down there at Anubis Silo and Equipment, he basically explained to me that unless I was pulling or towing implements grading soil or tilling and disking and really using it for farm applications, that I really probably wouldn't notice any difference between like the 35 horsepower and the 25 horsepower, just because like what I'm using it for is basically moving stuff around with the loader. I'm not, pulling a plow. I'm not tilling up soil. So that's kind of why I went with the 2610, the 25 horsepower model. And like I said, the main thing for me was the lift capacity, but then I also, and I was reminded of this last week on the tree service job. I was reminded, because I did go and look at a Kubota, and I remember sitting on the Kubota and just kind of feeling like the seat wasn't very big, and then the hydrostatic controls with the rocker pedal just completely, that was the deciding factor that eliminated Kubota from the running. The rocker pedal, I could not, it felt like I had to hold my leg in the air, and it felt like after about 30 seconds of driving that way, I would have a cramp in my leg from like holding it up. The other thing was the controls, for the loader arm and the throttle. So like for instance, on the Kioti here, the throttle, you push forward, you go faster. You increase your RPMs forward. On the Kubota, it was the opposite. Pull it towards you to go faster. So like, I always think of things like going forward, push it forward. So you want to go faster, you push forward. So that, just little things like that. I mean, nothing that if I did have a Kubota that I wouldn't get used to. It was just, those were some of the little factors that I looked into and looked at when I was making my decision. A few things that I've had problems with. The main one was in the cold weather, being able to get the seat far enough down to engage the safety mechanism that allows the engine to start. So like on cold days, I would have to hold myself down, pull myself down into the seat, and then the engine would turn over and start. So, one little thing. And like I said, once I knew that was the problem, I was able to easily, overcome that issue going forward. So one of the things that is noted in like your daily and your weekly checks are the bolts on the loader right there. There's those, and then on the other side, and that's something that they recommend you always checking. And I have had a few times when one or two of those bolts have been loose, so I've had to tighten those back down. I also had one time where I checked my my rear tires. One of those bolts was also loose. So those were the two things that I read about in the owner's manual, and I've read online of being something to watch out for, and that did happen with in my experience over this past year. The other feature that I would recommend as a must-have with a tractor like this is having the rear tires filled with the rim guard. That I've even had times where with the tires filled, I've noticed with a heavy load on the front that the back end felt a little light. And that just is because this loader is rated to, pick up 1,850 pounds, I believe, is the lift capacity of the loader. So you're picking that much weight up. If these rear tires wouldn't be loaded, I think I would have been running into a lot more issues. I did have the carry-all frame on the back, and I'd always put some weight on that to kind of counter that and have some ballast on the back end. But yeah, if you were to get this tractor and you were, getting it with the thought of having this loader with the high lift capacity, be sure you get your rear tires filled, because that is one thing that I would highly recommend. So the other issue that I had with this tractor, and it wasn't really an issue with the tractor, it was an issue with myself, but just the way the tractor is laid out, is this blinker and this light. You can see I banged that on a tree and broke that off. So just the placement of these lights kind of being high and out, I think is kind of something you need to watch out for. because like I said, I was just driving and I didn't even realize it. And, you know, a tree was going up at an angle and I was able to get around the base with my wheel, but then this caught the tree and knocked it off. Otherwise, I couldn't be more happy with the way this tractor has performed. I'm sitting right now at 198 hours. So just under 200 hours in the first year, which probably isn't a lot. I mean, you know, like I said, I'm not plowing fields during the day. And, you know, generally if I'm running back to the wood yard and hauling trees that were dropped off from the front to the back, I don't have a very long distance to go. So I don't get, you know, a lot of use out of it, I guess, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what the average hours for a tractor are per year, but I am at 198, so I'm 2 hours away from my 200-hour service that I'll need to do. But yeah, in those 198 hours, like I said, everything I've asked this tractor to do, it's done. It's been a huge help in moving firewood, moving the log splitter around, just, you know, allowing me the ability to go to my neighbor's property and haul all my gear, cut up firewood, bring it home with the pallet forks, you name it, I've been able to do it. The most limitations I probably had with this tractor are due to my inexperience and just user error, or like not having the experience to, you know, probably do things a little bit better. I have a bucket and I have the forks. I'm getting better with the forks. I'm not sure if I'm going to take that next step and install the third function valve for a potential grapple in the future, just because what I've been able to do with the forks, I'm not sure there's anything that a grapple would have been able to do that I won't be able to do with the forks, you know. So for my needs and for what I'm doing around here in the wood yard, I think the forks will work just as good and serve me just as well as a grapple would. So I'm not sure it's worth spending the $1,000 to install the third function kit and then from there spending $1,500 to $2,000 on a grapple when I can get done with the forks, and I've gotten by with the forks now, moving logs just fine. Okay, so now the big question. If I could go back and do this all over again, would I still buy the Kioti CK2610? And the answer is yes. I had done all my research prior to buying this tractor last year, so I knew, you know, for what I wanted it to do, this was a tractor that could get that done as far as lifting, everything else. And there's been nothing that I've wanted to do that I haven't been able to. The 25 horse, this model right here, the CK2610, is perfect for what I need it for. It gets around in a tight space is good. It, you know, like I said, it lifts a lot of weight. It does everything that I need it. Now that doesn't mean that it's perfect for you, because you probably have different needs than me. So I would just, you know, if you're looking at buying a tractor, like a 25 horse or smaller, a subcompact tractor, you know, go around, if you're able to some of the different dealerships, sit on one, drive one, get a feel for it, see how it fits and how you like it. There's my experience with the Kioti CK2610. After 1 year, it's been great. Now looking back, I can't imagine doing what I've done this past year without this tractor. It's really been it's really had a huge impact on what I've been able to do, how I've been able to do it, and now going forward, the opportunity to do more things and do things better. So yeah, it's really, it's opened my eyes. It's opened a lot of doors. It's opened my way of thinking. It's been a game changer. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little look back, that little review of 1 year owning the Kioti CK2610. So I think that'll do it for this video. Hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow night on the Back 40 live stream at 8 p.m. Central every Friday night. Us Woodhounds, we get together and we have a good time. Last week was It was pretty crazy. So if you have the opportunity, tune in, kick back, hang out with us woodhounds on a Friday night, and have a little fun. And with that, stay safe, have fun, and be cool.